I wish good luck to us all this week, and touch wood, that nothing worse will happen than a bit of a hangover from the events that we have going on. But in terms of events, let's try and get there we go, did the slide change? In terms of events, of course, this is not only the 50th anniversary of ICMM, it's the 500th anniversary this week of, does everybody recognize this ship? Well, our Hispanic colleagues probably do, because this is the replica of the Carrack Victoria. It's the 500th anniversary of Magellan's fleet's circumnavigation of the world, trying to upstage us, but they won't. But of course, it represents the globalization. It represents bringing the world together, the start of that process for good and for bad that brings us here together. And ICMM represents that global network. We have 30 countries represented around the tables today. And I'm going to say which ones they are. Australia. You can shout, Richard, if you want to. Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Chile, China, Denmark, Estonia, the Falkland Islands, Finland, France, Germany, Ghana, Hong Kong, Iceland, yay! Iceland, Italy, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Namibia, Spain, Sweden, England, Scotland, Wales, and the United States. That's a pretty good turnout. Well done. And ICMM is the world's only international maritime network. It's made up of 120 or so museums and members and organizations, ranging from the huge, I think you know this is China, to some of the smallest museums. This one is the smallest maritime museum I have discovered so far. And sadly, this is on the beach at Beer in South England. And sadly, never been open any time I've ever been there. And of course, some of the greatest objects in any heritage collection anywhere in the world, I'm sure you'll agree. Cunard, of course, Samuel Cunard was born in Halifax, so we honour that name locally. Was this his greatest ship, perhaps? That's one for arguing later. Certainly one of the biggest conservation headaches, and we'll be talking more about that this week. So, ICMM was founded in 1972. We are indeed 50 years old, and this is the 20th Congress. That's a fantastic, fantastic achievement. Some of the traditions that go back to 1972, I think we should restore. I noticed no Piper this morning leading me in, but apparently this photograph was taken on the way to drinking sherry. Yes, Kevin's nodding. So I look forward to the sherry party later as well. But here we go. Here is the list of all the different places that we have been to over the many years. Thank you to Kevin Fuster and David Fleming for putting this list together for everybody. It's a fantastic global list. Most recently, we've met in the Baltic, of course in Chile, in Hong Kong. The first meeting was restricted to the maritime museums of the Atlantic Basin, but then it quickly became a global movement. And we're going to be hearing much more from some of the elder statesmen of ICMM through the course of this week. And a particular joy has been that one of the founding fathers, shall we say, Revel Carr, who ran Mystic for many years and is a very formidable maritime historian, has sadly not been able to come to the meeting today, but has sent a short video of greeting and welcome, which we're now about to play to you. This was going to be part of the celebrations on Tuesday lunchtime, but his message was so strong, we decided we should play it right now. That was my cue to the back of the room. Is it playing? Audio?
I'm sorry I can't be there to see old friends, and I mean old, but also to make new ones. As I think about the 50th anniversary of ICM, my mind does not go back to its birth 50 years ago, but to its conception 53 years ago. I was fresh out of graduate school and had joined the Mystic Seaport staff in June of 1969. 2 months later, on the night before the museum's annual meeting of members, Mystic's director, Waldo Johnston, had a long evening of conversation with his house guest, Basil Greenhill, the director of the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich. Basil was to be the guest speaker at that annual meeting the following day. Both Waldo and Basil had experienced the merits of conversations with other colleagues, but that had only been on an individual basis. On that August evening, they pondered the possibility of creating an organization that would bring together maritime museum professionals from around the world. The next day, I sat in the audience as Basil spoke of the need for such communication and related his conversations with Waldo. That was the beginning of ICMM. Waldo and Basil, Mystic and Greenwich, committed to co-hosting that first meeting, which was, of course, the 1972 gathering in Greenwich with delegates from the maritime museums of the Atlantic Basin. It was a transformative event, certainly for me. And as they say, the rest is history. For me, the 10 triennial conferences I attended were part group therapy sessions where we shared our problems and unburdened our souls, and part religious revivals where we celebrated our achievements and certainly counted our blessings. In both aspects, the gatherings were brilliant successes. I congratulate and thank you for all you and your predecessors have accomplished in the 50 years of ICMM, and for what you and your successors will be accomplishing in the next 50 years to preserve our global maritime heritage. This mug has been on my desk since that day in 1969, and I raise it in salute to you and to ICMM. Have a great conference.
And I think we all thank Revel very kindly for those remarks. It's a shame he can't be here with us to celebrate. But he's right, isn't he? It's a group therapy, which started last night in the reception and after, I understand. Really important for us to talk and that group of peers coming together. But also a revivalist meeting. And I suppose I'm at the moment in the position of being the, the crusader on behalf of us all for maritime heritage as we embrace and learn from each other. But not only celebrating the last 50 years, which has been really outstanding in many ways, but starting to think about the next 50 years. And I hope this week we will do both things. We will look at what has come before, but really start to ask ourselves questions about what should come after. What questions should we be asking of ourselves this week, such that we can ask questions of the people around us? Do we know who we are really for? Who are our audiences? And what are the messages we should be saying to them? But equally, what are the messages we should be actually saying to our funders, rather than just the funders giving us messages to say? And I suppose that's particularly appropriate for government and military-supported organisations. So how do we look forward and outwards? There are major issues facing us right now, particularly around the ocean health, but also lots of issues in terms of preservation challenges, archaeology, and fundamentally the well-being and health of people that we engage with. This conference is the first that has fully carbon offset all your travel. So every flight that you have made has been carbon offset by ICMM as a matter of course, investing in the World Ocean Foundation Seagrass project. But let us discuss and debate exactly where are we going and what should we be saying. So with that, we start the sessions today, and I have here the corking mallet of power, with which I can declare, that was a good noise, isn't it? Declare the Congress open, and I look forward to hearing from our colleagues and talking with you all. Thank you very much.